your daily dose of psychology. The Jungian Daily. Listen, I need to tell you about something that happened to me last week. Something that's been sitting with me like a stone in my chest. I work nights at the county library, have for about 3 years now. 29 years old, and I'm the person who processes returns, shelves books, and keeps the building secure while everyone else sleeps. Most people think it's this peaceful, meditative job. And sure, there's something about the silence, the smell of old paper, and that industrial carpet cleaner they use. But what they don't realize is how much thinking happens in all that quiet. Last Tuesday, around 2 a.m., I was wheeling a cart through the biography section when I stopped, just froze. There was this moment where I looked around, really looked at where I was. Fluorescent lights humming overhead, rows of books stretching into shadows, and me in my rumpled polo shirt pushing this squeaky cart. And I had this thought that hit me like cold water. I have no idea who I actually am. I know that sounds dramatic, but hear me out. See, during the day, when I'm around people, I'm this completely different person. With my family, I'm the responsible one, the son who has a steady job, who doesn't cause problems. At the grocery store, I'm polite, efficient. When I run into old classmates, I'm friendly, but not too eager. I've got these versions of myself that I slip into automatically. But there in the library, in that 2 a.m. silence, none of those versions felt real. It was like looking in a funhouse mirror and realizing all the reflections were distorted. I started paying attention after that, really paying attention to how I shifted throughout my days. When my sister calls, my voice gets higher, more accommodating. When the day shift supervisor leaves notes about what I need to fix, I feel this surge of irritation, but I write back these polite, agreeable responses. When I'm grocery shopping and the clerk looks tired, I make small talk I don't really want to make because I don't know why. Because that's what the grocery store version of me does. The weird part, I couldn't figure out which one was actually me, or if any of them were. I started this experiment. Sounds silly, but I began asking myself throughout the day, what do I actually want to do right now? Not what I should do, not what would make other people comfortable, not what fits the situation. Just, what did I want? The answers surprised me. Sometimes I wanted to tell my sister I couldn't talk right. Then, instead of listening to her complain about her boyfriend for 40 minutes, sometimes I wanted to suggest a better way to organize the returns instead of just following the day shift notes. Sometimes I wanted to stand in the grocery line without feeling obligated to perform friendliness. But here's what really got to me. I realized I'd been so busy being appropriate for every situation that I'd lost track of my own preferences, my actual thoughts, my real reactions. Last night, I was in the poetry section, which I usually avoid because it feels too, pretentious. But I pulled out this collection and read a poem about someone feeling like a stranger in their own life. And I laughed. Actually laughed out loud in the empty library because it was so perfectly what I'd been feeling. That laugh, that was real. That was me. Not performing for anyone, not fitting into any role. Just responding honestly to something that resonated. I'm starting to understand that maybe becoming who you really are isn't about finding some hidden, authentic self that's been there all along. Maybe it's about paying attention to those moments when you stop performing and start responding from some place deeper. Those moments when you surprise yourself. I still don't know who I am exactly, but I'm getting better at noticing when I'm being real versus when I'm just playing a part. And that laugh in the poetry section, that felt like a beginning. Sometimes the most important discoveries happen in the quiet spaces, when no one's watching and you finally have room to be honest with yourself.